Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad where we get together and make a card. Today's card is perfect for the little boy in your life. And so I'm thinking of Ben and Carter, of course. And look at how cute it is. It says, "You're my favorite little dino." And then you open it up and it says, "You're invited." So can you imagine making this cute little tag or tag card / card for an invitation to a dinosaur party? Wouldn't that be fun? Now, what are you going to need to create this? Let's see. First, you're going to need the Stamps of Life Stitch Circle dies. You're going to need the, one is this? Dino to Stamp stamp set. The Dino to Stamp dies that match. The You're Invited circle. And then also, because this one doesn't cut out all the circle, this one you're gonna need the Miss You circle, or any circle dies that you have that can go around that one. And I'm also gonna be using my markers and some inks. I have green apple, licorice, banana, and some fun twine, okay? Let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is we need to create our card base. And as you can see, this is two circles kind of put together. Now I know that doesn't really make sense, but what we're gonna do is we are going to use our largest circle in the kit, and we are going to take a piece of cardstock, and I've just folded it in half, and we are gonna run this through the machine. But when we're not, normally you would run it through like this, right? So you could die cut it. We are going to run it through ever so slightly like this. So you can see my fingers behind that. You can see, hang on, let me get a different paper so you can see. So I'm going to run this through like this so you can see that my fold is inside my die. That's going to create my fold mark. So let's go ahead and grab our machine and we're going to run this through. Now, because I'm cutting out two at a time and this has those cute stitch marks, I'm actually going to run it through once and then just run it right back through. That way, because I'm cutting two layers, I'm gonna get a nice clean cut. So I'm just gonna run it through, and I love my Express machine, and I'm sure you've heard me say over and over, I didn't wanna love it, and I love it too much. I never thought I needed it until I started using it. Okay, now look what I have here. I have cute little circle stitched all the way around, and then I have my cute little card. Isn't that fantastic? So easy and perfect for a little tag or anything like that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm also going to die cut, let's see, we gotta die cut a couple things. We are going to die cut the circle that's gonna go behind us. So we're going to do the Miss You. So let's get that big circle that's gonna go right behind. So we're gonna lay that down. Then we're also going to die cut just a fun, just the little layering die. So we're just gonna lay that one down too. So I'm gonna put these as close together as possible. That way I can use a smaller cutting pad. I always like to use the smallest cutting pad necessary. That way I don't have to wait as long for the cutting pads to go all the way through. Okay, there we go. So now I just have a plain old boring circle, but I'm going to use that for something in just a second. And then I have my fun stitch circle. So that stitch circle is going to go right on the front. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to get our You're Invited. We're going to open this up. And this one is a little fun because remember, this does not die cut a circle. It die cuts a star of circles, if that makes sense, a circle of stars, but it doesn't die cut an actual circle. So we're going to use these two and this one. So we're gonna go, whoops, all of these together at the same time. This is the circle from the Miss You, or you could use any one you want. And I'm going to be using, I wanna make sure I get the right color, green. So remember I die cut this one circle. I have all these circles, I wanna make sure you understand. This is just a regular circle that I die cut the white out of. Now I'm gonna use that same circle and these other two circles, get them all nice and lined up. Now of course, I'm using my magnetic platform because I don't want anything to move around once I get it set up. Let me make sure you can see that. So we're gonna get these all nice and lined up. Dun, 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 dun. There we go, that looks perfect. And then we're gonna run all of these through at the same time. And we're gonna start stamping. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm gonna get my block out. See how you can do other things while it's die cutting? I just love it. Okay, so now look what I have over here. Now I have, and I gotta kind of weed this all out. It's all cut, I just have to weed it out. Sometimes I just like to do that because it's faster. So I'm just gonna get all these little pieces out, and if you're missing some pieces, I mean, if there's still some in there, you can kind of do this, or you can use your paper piercer. I use both. You never know which one I'm gonna use. And these little stars are fun because you can use those for other projects. So give them a flick, get them out of there. Get it out of there. Come on, baby. Get them all out. Of course, I picked one of the busiest dies here to do. Okay, there we go. Did we get them? We got them all. Now, it would have been smart to use Sizzix adhesive on the back of this, wouldn't it? That would have been too smart. Okay, so let's clean up our mess here because I can't handle having all this mess. Luckily, I do have a trash can down here. I realize you probably can't see it, but I do. This time I actually do. Let's see what we're gonna do. First, we're going to layer, remember these circles were cut the exact same size, the exact same one, so we're gonna add adhesive to the back of this. And I'm really not a fan of this one because it's gonna have little pieces, but we'll make it work. Now, I recommend you use Sizzix adhesive on the back of this because you know it's better. But in the interest of time, because you don't want to watch me die cut it all again, right? Okay. I always like to say there's no mistakes in crafting. People always, like in my classes, they always say, oh, I messed up. I'm like, no, you didn't. You're just being more creative than I was. And that's allowed. Okay, so now we have your You're Invited in there, and this is going to get on the inside of here. So this adhesive will work for that. And, whoops, stay there. Okay, so let's add this to the inside of our card. Look how cute that is. Okay, and now we want to decorate the front. So we're going to stamp our cute little dinosaur, or actually, I'm sorry, we're gonna stamp our little saying on there. And you're my favorite little dino. You're my favorite little dino. Now, I couldn't say that to Ben because then Carter would get upset. And if I said it to Carter, then Ben would get upset. So I'm gonna no-win on that one. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp once onto scratch paper, and then I'm gonna stamp the second time onto my project. Of course, I'm using the Sizzix Secret Weapon below me to get a better image. Now what I'm gonna do is I can go ahead and add that to my card. So we're gonna add that right there. Now we want to stamp our cute little dinosaur. So I'm going to get, well, he's not that little, right? He's kind of big. Okay, so we're going to get this guy out. Oh, I love that smell. Okay, whoops. Why do you have green on you? There we go, get that off. Okay, so we're gonna lay this guy down. Now, again, these are all, I always use new ones when I'm stamping on video, so I always wanna make sure I stamp the first time onto scratch paper. Woo, this one's Juicy Lucy, look at that. That one must be new too. So, do I have any scratch paper? Let's see, usually I have my list. Here, scratch paper. Look how juicy that ink pad was. Must be brand spanking new. Look how cute that is. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and ink them again. So the first time you use it, you're always gonna stamp onto scratch paper because your second impression and third and fourth and fifth are always gonna be better, better, better. So we're just going to stamp that, and this is a larger stamp, so make sure you press on the back of the stamp. A lot of times people, well, and you need the Secret Weapon, but a lot of times people will just press down and then lift up and go, it didn't stamp right, stamping's awful. No, you have to press on the back of the stamp. Just a hint, look how cute he is. Okay, now that one's nice and dirty, so we're gonna move that over there. So now we need to die cut this. So of course we have dies that match because there's always a die for that, right? And I just realized I need to die cut my cute little egg. So we're gonna open this up. And, oh, you know what? I actually had ones that are already open. I should probably, every once in a while, use the ones that are already open, right? So here's an example, and this is a good example to show you. This is my envelope for this set. This is all my dinosaurs, and I hope this has all been released already. And what I do is, if I have an extra one, and I'm not gonna use it for my project, instead of putting it in my scrap pile that it's gonna get lost and ruined, I put it right back in here. So if I ever need one, and I'm in an extra hurry, I can just grab one that's already been die cut and stamped, and I'm ready to go. So it's kind of like already being a step ahead. And it's just nice to have them all right there. So I just kind of leave them all in there. And you know, if they kind of get a little mixed up once in a while, it's okay. But it's nice to have everything in there. So there we have that. So he's going to get laid down there. But first we need to go ahead and stamp our egg. So let's get our egg. And we're using banana ink on a lemonade paper. So that's gonna be fun. And here again, scratch. Doot. So you don't have to use lemonade on lemonade. You can do banana on lemonade, right? That makes sense because it's the same color family, it's just gonna be a little different. So now we're gonna lay these kind of close to each other so we can use a smaller cutting pad, line this guy up. Again, another reason number 75, why you need the magnetic platform. And we're gonna lay this guy down. Now, see how that did that? See how I laid it down and it snapped over here? That's okay, it's snapping to a magnet. So let it go where it wants to and then just move your paper. So then we're gonna lay that down right there. That looks pretty good. Let me get my head in the way there so I can see it. And we're gonna do this. Get our cutting pad. Now, I'm often asked, and I know I say this over and over, but it's true. I'm often asked, why do I have colored cutting pads? Well, one, because they're cute. But two, so you can find them when they're on your desk, right? How many times have you gone, where's that cutting pad? Well, if it's a color, you can see it and you can find it. Okay, so now we have, oh, look how cute he is. And look at the cute little egg. Okay, so now we're just gonna drop those back in there so we don't lose them because usually I do. And let's get our little guys out, and we're going to ink these guys a little bit. I'm also going to use my markers, and I hope I showed you that already, that we were going to use our markers. And I'm just going to add some cute little dots to his back. So I'm just going to kind of add a little bit more interest to him. Feel free to always do that. Don't feel like you only have to use what Stephanie designed. You can add extra pieces if you want, kind of giving him just some more spots. And then I'm also going to want to color his little toenails, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So you're just going to color this in. Don't worry about it being perfect. It's going to look awesome. I'm going to color this guy in. Markers are so fun. They're forgiving and they're just fun because they add more interest than just that green T-Rex, right? Okay, so now we're going to add this little guy right there. Okay, perfect. Okay. And let's see. Ooh, and I have some green if I wanted to add some more green spots. This is very close in color, so it's going to add just a little bit. Okay, now let's go ahead and blend. So we're just going to blend just a little tiny bit, just to add a little bit more pop. Start off your project and go onto your project, just like that. Just to add a little bit of extra shadow and interest, especially to his little back. See how cute his little back is? So let's just do that just on that one side, just for fun. Now on the green, I'm sorry, that was the green apple. On the banana, we're just going to add a little bit of yellow on the whole egg, just for fun. Look how much that just makes that pop. Isn't that fun? I love using ink because, and I always use the little pads, just an FYI. Why do I not use the big pads? Because that, when I stamped that with my big stamp, I don't want any of this extra little fuzz to go on my stamped image because then it would ruin it. So I always use the smaller versions for the inking or the blending. Okay, so let's cover that up so I don't put my hand in it because I always do that. Now let's put all these pieces together. So I'm going to add my cute little, oh, let's add some little more decoration to this. Let's just add a cute little, some spots, just for fun. There we go. Okay, so now let's get some adhesive on the back of this. And let's kind of figure this out where we want it. So let's do this kind of like right there. We don't want to cover our little guy there. And then we're going to add this guy. And if I had some foam squares here, I don't know if I do. It doesn't look like I do. Bummer. I would add a little bit of foam squares to this guy. I didn't get any in time. But okay, so we're going to add this guy. Right, let's cover him over the egg just a little bit so it looks like he's like going rawr. And we're going to add that. And then last but not least, we're just going to add a little bit of twine around the edge. So let's get some twine. And twine, sometimes when it's thinner, it's kind of like not as exciting if you just do one. So wrap it a couple times because it just makes it thicker and it makes it more exciting. And you don't want to look like you're being cheap by just putting one little roundabout on it. So let's wrap it a couple times. Easier said than done when I'm not left-handed. Okay, so now let's tie this baby up. Whoops, how did I start? How did I get on this side? Well, that's kind of interesting. Okay, fine. So we'll move it this way. That's not going to work. I always loved talking to myself. I loved having children when I would shop, because when they were with me when they were little, because when I would talk to myself, it looked like I was talking to my kid, and then I didn't look so, you know, nuts. But now that the kids are older and they don't go shopping with me as often anymore, unless I offer to buy anything, then I just look nuts, but I don't care. Okay, so now we're gonna fix this a little bit because our poor little bow got messed up when I moved it. There, and let's get our handy dandy scissors, trim, trim, and of course we need to add our little stamp on the back that says we made this. So we do sell personalized stamps on our website. If you don't have one, you can get one. And let's ink this baby up. So now people know that I made this card, created by Stephanie Bernard. That's me. So look at how cute our little guy is. You're my favorite little dino. Open it up, you're invited. And you could even put on the back another circle and put all the party information if you wanted to do that. Isn't that fun? Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we get together and create a card. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.